Welcome to this walkthrough of the Study Buddy app. My name is Gina Marie Pirio, and along with my study buddy, Gilberto Cardenas, we thought of this idea. What if students had a virtual assistant that could not only help them through their academic journey, but provide a holistic pathway for any hurdles they may experience along the way? For our Study Buddy app, we are going to be working with Juan Gabriel. He has come back to the States from active duty a year ago. It took him a few months for him to get reacclimated, but he finally got a part-time job as a security guard working the graveyard shift. He is a single dad and has a 10-year-old son. He was a medic in the military and wants to go to school to continue with that line of work. Even though he receives assistance from his GI Bill, it's barely enough to cover the high costs of school, living expenses, and childcare. Juan's grades are suffering, and he is put on academic probation. If he loses his academic standing, he will no longer receive aid from the Veterans Services. A downturn in the economy forces his employer to lay off all the security detail. He no longer earns enough money to pay his bills and is forced to live in his car with his son. First-generation college students of all backgrounds encounter more obstacles to succeed. Educational interventions that direct students to college resources helps eliminate social class achievement gaps and improve grades. So, here's our solution to Juan's problem. Juan has been living and sleeping in his car with his child for 3 days. The temperature is dropping and they are cold. Not only that, he has a major test coming up. He doesn't understand the subject and he needs to find shelter. Juan turns to the Study Buddy app and he looks for resources he can use. Through the app, he is linked with Mercy House and is able to find a safe place to live with his son. He can now focus on his studies worry-free. Juan is able to find an online tutor for his math course and is able to understand the subject matter. He's able to maintain his academic progress and is able to work towards his goal. College students face a number of pressures. Students should focus on what's important, their academics. With Study Buddy, getting back on track is a fingertip away. So we've been referencing the Sage Journal published article that has findings that students who seek out college resources, 1, show an improvement in college transition, 2, close the social achievement gap, and lastly, most importantly in our opinion, improve overall grades. From our professional experience, one of the biggest complaints we hear from students is they didn't know we had a resource that could have helped them out in their journey. If students are experiencing difficulties knowing about resources at an on-campus institution, we can only imagine how much more difficult it will be in an online school environment. This is where the Study Buddy app comes in. Study Buddy can be seen as someone always rooting for your success, someone that has gone through the experience themselves and that is available to provide you with just-in-time service necessary at various points in your educational journey, including onboarding, retention, and graduation. Study Buddy reminds students of deadlines, important dates to remember, and immediately finds resources for life circumstances. But enough of us talking about Study Buddy. Let's take a look at why Study Buddy should have happened a long time ago. Once a student has downloaded the Study Buddy app on their smart device, they will be able to access the app through a single sign-on process using their school credentials. The home screen will display the resources that the app has tailored for them based on their life circumstances and academic goal. These can be updated at any time, and we'll show you how to do that in just a little bit. Of course, they can go to the settings options and add any resources they want to their home screen. Juan is interested in scholarship opportunities, so let's check it out. Back now on the home screen, Study Buddy updates itself, and the scholarship widget is now populated. Juan is struggling in his math course. He selects the online tutor widget, where he can choose from a list of courses he is currently enrolled in. He selects Math 160, Statistics. A list of available times appears, and he chooses the one that works best with his schedule. He likes to study late at night, so he selects Bubba and confirms the appointment with the tutor. Back on the home screen, he wants to take a look at his calendar. He sees that his meeting with the tutor has automatically populated. Juan likes the calendar, as all the important dates and events are automatically populated for him. One less thing for him to worry about, so he can focus on his studies. Study Buddy knows Juan needs to start learning about his transfer options based off the information on his profile, so it populates his calendar with transfer workshops and appointments. He also sees that later in March, summer registration begins. He decides to go to his portal to mock up a schedule for summer. His portal page has access to his personal and academic information. From here, he chooses his academic planner, where he will be able to select courses that will align with his work schedule. He conducts a search for math courses. A list of available courses are displayed. Juan likes that each class comes with a study time gauge. A study time gauge tells the student whether or not a course is manageable. Green indicates that the course is manageable and he can dedicate the necessary time to study. Yellow indicates that the course may be a little tougher to manage and that he may need to rearrange his work schedule to be able to dedicate the time the course requires. Red indicates that the course requires a lot of commitment and he may not be able to have a good work-school life balance. He selects a math course. From here, let's assume he continued this similar process and selects two other classes, film and anthropology. The Study Buddy warns him by displaying a red study time gauge that if he enrolls in all three courses, he may not be able to balance his schedule. He decides that he will take the math class in the fall. The app lets him know that he will need to invest about 20 hours a week in these courses. Combined, he thinks it's manageable. As we heard earlier in Juan's story, he has recently become homeless. He knows Study Buddy has life circumstance resources, so he goes to his personal profile and updates his information. On his home screen, the app adds two new widgets for his life circumstance. He's ready to start looking for resources and also notices that he has received new messages in his inbox. The Emergency Services widget has a list of all the different services that can provide additional support to Juan. He feels good that he doesn't have to share this recent life change with his classmates and that Study Buddy is there to help him out. The resources here are potential partners we have researched that could provide services to California Community College students. Back on the home screen, he selects the shelter widget. A list of partner nonprofit organizations are made available for Juan to find more permanent housing for him and his family. All he needs to do is click on one of these resources and they will help him find a home. He takes a look at his messages. A social worker has reached out to him, and additional information on the widgets have appeared. These messages are informing Juan on how to use them. He is also happy that he was provided with an opportunity to get a free flu shot. Now that Juan was connected with the resources he needs through Study Buddy, he can focus on his academics.